This episode is sponsored by Wacom, Wacom.com. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Face the Truth. This is Jason Seiler saying hello from Chicago, #1 podcast in Rogers Park, Chicago. But that's probably going to change because I think I'm starting to get a lot of competition in this neighborhood. You have no idea. It's a weird neighborhood. But anyways, I'm very excited and happy to be able to talk with my friend Glenn today. I can't wait to just hear from him. It's been a while since we've actually talked. But Glenn is an amazing artist. I've known him for 16 years now. Oh, wow. I met him in 2003 was the first time I ever met him. And I met him at the NCN at the time. It was called the NCN Caricature Convention. And he was just slaying it, filling up the wall with tons of awesome artwork. And it was my first time ever doing live caricature. So it was kind of a really weird situation for me. But an amazing experience. That was 16 years ago. So,
wow,
that's crazy. Fast. And as most people know, Glenn, in the last a couple years ago, was terribly, brutally attacked by somebody, and went through a lot of insane trauma. Also, has been working so hard to, basically teach himself how to walk and talk and draw. And he's drawing amazing drawings. And I'm so proud of him. He's just it's just a real example of someone that does not give up and wants to, keep going on and creating amazing art. Because for me personally, it's super encouraging and just mind-blowing. And we're all so lucky to still have Glenn around. So please welcome my friend Glenn Ferguson.
Thank you, Jason. It's an honor to be here with you guys and to say hi to everybody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. It's so nice to see you and talk to you again. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen you in person since the attack.
No, I haven't. No, not yet.
Give me if I have some stuttering. It'll calm down. I have it sometimes, but I had to relearn all my speech, and I still go to speech therapy sometimes. But it gets better.
Yeah, no, that's totally understandable. So you guys, obviously you're in Florida. This is really a beautiful house, man. Looks nice. Is this also like your studio area too?
Yeah, I can show you around if you'd like. I can show you now or a little bit later on if you want.
Oh, we can do it later or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks really cool.
We had to move. Well, for psychological reasons, the guy that stabbed me had been in my house a few times before it all happened. We were actually kind of friends. And it was bringing PTSD and nightmares, even well long after he was already in prison. So we knew we were going to move at one point. So we moved, and I got a new studio for myself, which I haven't had before, and so it's pretty amazing. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so, that's awesome. That's important.
It's so much more. We wanted someplace that was extremely peaceful.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we got. It's terrifying to have stuff still in your head still after it all, and I know it has to deal with some people with military PTSD and stuff, but it doesn't. It's more than just that. So we found a new peaceful place, and so it's wonderful. It's really we're real peaceful and real happy. So.
Well, I mean that's hugely important. I mean, it's just insane. I got to be honest, man. I mean, I'm sure you've talked with tons of people about this stuff, but like, I still remember when I heard about what happened, just being in shock and confused. And right away, I was talking with Joe Bloom and Grigor just like what, like, it's like, and for us, it was kind of like we needed to talk about it too, because it's like how, like, this is like, it's hard to even imagine. I remember
it was a shock to everyone, even including myself. It took, I still go to therapy, but it took me a long time to even comprehend what happened. Why did this happen? So there's some bad people in the world.
Is it? I mean, I don't want to make sure that you're as comfortable as possible, but is it okay to talk about?
I don't mind asking any questions. It's okay.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. I don't want to.
No, I'm good with it all. In fact, it kind of helps therapeutically to talk about it.
So, I mean, do you mind talking about like just the whole, like what happened exactly? Because from what I was told, it was just like a normal day at work, and it's like the last thing you're expecting is going to happen with someone that, because he worked there, right? With you?
He worked there for 12 years, and he was very happy and bubbly and friendly, and enjoyed his life and job and everything for probably, several years. But over the years, I watched him be unhappy, and he didn't seem to have much drive in his life, and everybody gets burnt out, but I feel like he got burnt out, and it stuck, and it stayed in his mind, and he had anger issues, and he had low self-esteem, and a huge jealousy problem, and everything else. And when there's lots of that, some people like to say, oh, he's evil. No, there was a lot of psychological problems, and as my career and my ability and everything else grew, and I was passionate about my artwork and stuff, and I was gaining notoriety and more jobs and gigs and everything else, he made it very clear that he was jealous, and so he lashed out to customers and guests, and then our bosses and everything else, to the point where he in his mind started blaming me because I was the supervisor, because I agreed with the whole thing. Agreed with his unhappiness, and so basically we asked him, we're taking you off the schedule because you have basically an attitude problem. You need to take a break, and that's when he was going to he planned it to take it out on me. And I would have thought it was one thing to take a punch at me, or break something of mine or something, but no one ever thought somebody like that would constitute murder, but that's exactly what he did. So, and he had psychologicals and psychiatrists and everything like that tried to ask him why did you do this? What was there? And he's all over the place. At some point, sometimes he's it's my fault. He blames me. He blames our boss. He blames society. And then there's times he's like, oh, I'm really sorry, and I'm sorry, but it's the lawyers and everything else. And so it's there's a lot of psychological issues that he's in his mid-30s, and he can't figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's something like what he did that's a very personal thing. I mean, that's not just like
it was that's intimate.
Yeah, it's not like it's what it is full-on savage, and it's I mean, again, like I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm very happy and proud of all of what you've done since, because for me personally, I'm like, man, it's hard for me just to imagine the horror of dealing with that, and just yourself wrapping your mind around, like, how the fuck could someone do this to another person? Even like, I mean, there are people in this world that are truly evil people that should be locked up forever, and I couldn't imagine ever doing anything to those people. You know what I'm saying? Like people who have done terrible things, and it's just insane. It's just hard to wrap your mind around that somebody could be so could lose it that much and take it out on someone. And again, someone who is like one of the nicest people in the world.
Oh, thanks.
You know, and it's just like man, it's rough. It's rough for everybody, but I can't imagine and what you must have been going through. I mean, even early after it happened, I mean, you were in a coma for quite a while, right? Like for a couple weeks.
Well, to back up, I was not to get any. I won't get into graphic, but it was in my head for 20 minutes, and I was still conscious and fighting, and was trying to pull it out actually. And
you remember?
Oh,
I remember that.
I remember every detail. I remember every detail.
Jeez.
I kind of wish I could have forgotten it, but
I mean,
I remember the smell of the concrete. Every little detail I remembered, and which in the long. I was number one witness though, so it helped in that situation, but it didn't help with the nightmares I still have even to this day, but it was an incredibly intimate thing. He was this close to my face and to so I mean it's to go someone that far to hurt somebody else. This is also why he got life in prison with no parole at all, because the judge, he tried to manipulate the judge and tried to lie and everything else, and it's just the judge just is like, you're kidding me, right? You were writing fun because it was by hand. He didn't pull a gun, it was, and you put it in my head. It wasn't.
And it was over and over again, right? Like it what like
the handles. The handles broke, so the blades were in my head, and he had nothing to grab onto. The handles were on the ground. So then he was trying to punch me, and I think he got like 2 or 3 contacts, and some people pulled him off. But it was had he gotten had it didn't break, it didn't actually go in my head, he would have continued to attack. But it was that wasn't a good day.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think so.
But I'm glad I had I had the conscience enough to get up and run away. And that's what I did. And
I'm amazed that you were able to. I mean, because you were stabbed in the back of the brain, right? Right in the back. Right in the side.
Right above the ear.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
But right above my ear.
Okay.
And I was just holding on to my head, and I knew what had happened immediately, but I was really shocked that I was still conscious and alive and everything else. But immediately I was like, well, if you're still alive, get up, because he's right there.
Yeah. So you were, man, that's amazing that you were able to actually function at that point too. Because I mean, I'm sure you're like in shock and a lot of adrenaline. But even just the whole idea of why, like it's just so insane. How long before ambulances came? I mean, were you waiting for a while? I mean, it just seems like this whole thing just seems like. I mean, for you, obviously, it's a nightmare. For me, it doesn't. It just seems. It's hard for me to even comprehend this whole thing. It's so rough.
When he found out over on his phone, and he threatened our boss, and then he told him, I'm going to kill Glenn. And then he threatened me and said, call our boss and figure this out, or call 911. And I saw that he had the scissors in his head, and I thought, is this really a threat, or is this a joke, or are you kidding me? You're going to actually, attack me because, you got taken off the schedule. It wasn't even like you're fired, get out. But that's when I tried to calm down. I was like, dude, calm down, dude, relax. It's gonna, and I said, I'm calling Tony. I'm calling my boss right now. And I started walking away, and he started walking out after me.
Yeah.
And so then I slowly started running, and he started running after me, and that lasted for about 7.5 minutes, and I was exhausted. And then I realized how serious this was, and we found a security guard, and then for another 7.5 minutes, we were trying to get it figured out, but he had time to still say, I'm still going to go through this. And so from the minute he started chasing me to the time when it was in my head, it was, 15 minutes. So he had 15 minutes to change his mind. And so because of that time, and because they had reasons, they had time stamps and everything else, that's why he got first degree murder as opposed to second degree.
Yeah.
Attempted. And so those little things made a huge difference, because he could have gotten, get this, he could have gotten as little if he had played his cards right as 8 years. If he had changed his plea, made all the right moves, whatever, but his arrogance and his, pride, if you want to call it, got in the way, and then he started insulting everybody, and got him life. And so,
oh, good.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's not happy about that, except to him. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You asked about the coma. I was in.
Actually, could you try to go towards the middle again? I just don't want to lose you.
No, I appreciate it.
A little bit more, if you can.
Okay. Right there.
Yeah. Just because I'm afraid you're gonna get cut off.
I have I'm half blind, so.
Oh, okay.
See half the screen, so if
that's fine.
If I say that a couple times, I was in a medically induced coma, and I was there for
14 days.
I was in there for 2 weeks in a medically induced coma, but then it doesn't, like in the movies or in the shows or whatever, somebody's in a coma and they wake up and like, hey everybody, it's like you're in a dream stage, and you start to come awake, but you're not, and you don't know if you're in a dream or not, and it's very strange, and I didn't understand why there's so many tubes and everything, and they had these bandages on my hands so I wouldn't pull on the wires and tubes, and I didn't understand that, and I couldn't think very well. I didn't understand anything. I just knew feeling, just how I felt.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of like a baby, it's just, I couldn't, I had no cognitive skills. I couldn't think very clear. So it was a experience. I don't suggest it.
Yeah. I mean, so how long after you woke up were you able to actually realize what's going on? I mean, because it seems like it must have been quite a shock, just like even the fact that you were in a coma for 2 weeks, and didn't realize it,
This is kind of funny. The first thing I noticed was, you get a headache. That goes without saying. But they shaved my head, and I didn't understand why is my hair gone, and I thought, am I losing my hair?
Yeah.
But then I felt all the the staples, and then I put the pieces pretty quickly together, and it's. But then immediately I was just like, where is he? Where is he gonna? And then there was the whole, he's gonna show up in the hospital. I'm gonna open my eyes and he's gonna be right on the bed, at the edge of the bed. So, there was a lot of fear and a lot of depression and scare. All the negative stuff I went through.
Yeah.
But I'm a positive attitude person. I went through all kinds of therapies, and I had to relearn how to walk and speak and obviously write and read and everything. But I would go to the other ICU people, or people that were hurt in the ICU on things way less than my injury, and they're in way worse situation. I was walking around and I felt, well, man, I could have been way worse. And then we go to a brain injury group where there's other people with traumatic brain injuries, and similar thing. There's people that are they're getting along day by day, but they're in worse situation than I am with lesser injury. So I feel really, really lucky, if you want to say the words, but positive about, everything worked out. I guess, I was in good health before. I was going to the gym every day and everything like that, and but I think a lot of it has to do with fortitude and drive. There was a lot of I'm not going to let him stop. I'm not going to let him win.
Yeah, that's amazing, and that's so inspiring, man. And here's the thing too, is like, you're one of, in the group of artists that I know, you're one of the most, you've won more awards than I think anybody at the ISCA conventions and stuff. You're one of the most driven, passionate and competitive artists. Every year that I went there, you were just always like, just, you're working hard. You're like, I'm going to do the best I can and push myself. And you're always doing that. And, of course, when something like this happens, I remember one of the first things, first of all, I was just like, so scared and worried that for the worst thing was going to happen,
Sure.
But so thankful and excited when I found out that you were okay, that you were going to be okay. And then just so heartbreaking though, that, finding out that, man, like at first I heard, I think from Robert Bauer or somebody, like, oh, Glenn can't, he's got to learn how to walk again and talk. And it's just like, and then to realize that the one thing that you're passionate about, drawing and painting, like he might not be able to do that anymore. And so it's so amazing and powerful how much you have worked on everything since this terrible thing happened, where you're actually, not only are you drawing, but you're friggin' drawing amazing drawings. And it's like, when I saw them, I was just like, oh, this is the coolest thing in the world. I'm so happy, happy for you too, because that's an important thing. Like that's a fear I think a lot of artists have, is losing that ability. Like something happens and, this is a really goofy analogy, so spare me. But like just last week, my oldest daughter was like, Dad, you should take us on a skiing trip this year. And I said, no, because I'm 41 and my career, everything is based on me being able to draw and paint. And I'm just not going to risk downhill skiing and something happening to my hand. I know I'm not a teenager anymore. And I know that if something happens to my hand, guess what? Like I can't pay rent anymore. And she thought I was joking. I was like, no, I'm really serious. Like, every artist has like that kind of thing in the back of their mind. Like what if something happens and this, what if this happens thing happened to you and you like just marched through it like a warrior.
Well,
I know it's not been easy, but the fact that you have done so well, you're doing your therapy and everything else. You got that awesome dog that's helping you out. But it's just amazing and inspiring,
Her too.
No, I wasn't calling Joanna dog.
She's heard worse.
No, but of course you've got an amazing wife. I mean, it's just
lots
I'm
of
just
support.
very, very happy to see how much you've just persevered through all this, because
Thank you.
a lot of people would crumble, So I personally feel very encouraged, that you're just pushing through, even though you're gonna have the nightmares, you're gonna have like these issues that you have to deal with, but it's super encouraging, just to see what you've accomplished,
Thanks.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There was lots of depression, as to be understanding. When I couldn't think clearly, when I couldn't use, because they gave me these little blocks and I had to put them together and I couldn't.
Yeah.
I would go home and see, awards and a degree and certificates and everything else, and it's like I can't do anything like that now. You go through a lot of, if anybody is like, you walk through and it's like, yep, I'll get better. No.
Yeah.
However, over time, I couldn't speak without stuttering for a while, and I couldn't. I still had some issues. I still have some issues, but I would shake all the time to anybody that was around me, and so I mean, there was a very hard, rough area. However, I guess a lot has to do with, obviously I have an incredible wife, but I had so much support. People from all over the world were reaching out. Never heard of me before. Never met me, and it was so inspiring, and I had so many people to encourage me to get better. I think a situation like that, it's powerful.
Well, that's really important. I mean, the thing, like oh man, I just have so many thoughts going through my mind right now about this. When you were when you were first starting to, try to write again, and I'm sure like you said, you had a lot of depression and probably a lot connected to, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do my artwork ever again. That must have been even just difficult to try, just to try drawing again. Must have been super frustrating.
I didn't draw for like a year. I didn't draw if I did, it was rarely. I didn't try nothing kind of composition, nothing kind of, it's just kind of doodling. And then I'd rather watch TV or I'd rather do something else, but, man, you get better.
Was it, it was for the first year that you didn't really draw, were you just were you scared or worried and you didn't even want to dip your toe into that at that time, or?
Well, you got to also understand, we went through absolute nightmares of legal fighting, legal stuff, and all while Freddie's sentence wasn't held down or put down. There's absolute, if when that there's a killer out there and he's, maybe he's even in jail right now and he's in jail, but he's not in prison. For some reason, a technicality, he might get a parole. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You go through a really dark time.
Yeah.
But again, you just go it each day by day, and again, I had so much support and everything like that. But I had confidence that this will pass. This will get better. This can't be the thing that's going to tear me down, because again, I didn't want him to win. He attacked me, and I didn't even have a chance to fight back. So this is my way to fight back. It's by getting better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's also just, I mean, as for yourself, you've got to, just for your own peace, happiness, you gotta fight for that kind of a thing. I think especially after this, as you said, the worst day ever. Yeah. So if you don't mind right now, if you want to look at some of your drawings and stuff and just kind of talk about it a little bit,
Sure.
I'll share the screen, and then actually real quick before we do that, you were saying how you're half blind now, and you sent me a picture of Joanne where it's like half like black.
Yeah.
So that's kind of is that with both eyes, or
It's not. The eyeballs and the eyes work just fine. It's in the brain. I had a stroke, and that part of my brain, the image doesn't go to my head. It doesn't go to my brain. It was blocked, and so when I look at everybody, I just see half of your face. I see half of everything. So as I'm even sitting here, I'm facing this kind of direction so I can see in my peripheral what's happening. If I'm over here, I can't see anything. I can't see what's happening. I know you're there, but
yeah.
But if I'm over here,
now, how does that affect when you're drawing? Because that seems
a lot.
Like, I mean, it just seems even more impossible. God.
I got lots of strategies, and I've had to find. That was the other thing too. I'm drawing over here. All right, things are going here. Look, guess what? I can't see over here. And now if I go over here, I can't see peripheral over here. And so it's a fight with each drawing. And so it's so a lot of my likenesses, when I draw people, are off. And the eyes won't be lined up, or the smile is wrong, or something like that. That's just something I gotta fight through. And I've tried different ways.
Yeah.
I've had several different mentors kind of help me. Steve Fossen helped me a lot. Tom Richmond helped me a lot. People try to think of ways to help me work with my vision, my handicap to work to draw. But I was still driven to, I'm not going to let this stop me. You see all the time people lose a leg and they get a prosthetic and they just keep running.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I totally agree with you, and it's amazing. But at the same time, it's like, you're drawing. I mean, the most important part of that is to be able to see, especially. And here's the other thing that I'm really impressed with, and I want to look at your work in just a second. There's a lot of people that don't really get or understand caricature.
Sure.
In my mind, it's one of the most difficult art forms to do well, because it requires a lot of thinking and planning and pushing with your mind before you start drawing. And it's not like just doing portraits where you're just drawing what you see. You're understanding what you see, and you take it to another level. And what's impressive is you're seeing half like what you couldn't before. You're like, you can't see a full image now, and you have this problem with looking back and forth and all this, and you're still doing like complicated drawings. I'm just blown away by it. Like, I really, it's just it's amazing. So let's look at some of this artwork, and then. Are
you gonna start from early on?
I can do that. I can skip through them, and
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
And tell me if you see. Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can go to the early ones. I don't know. Like, is this one of the first?
No, there was some more even earlier than that. I'll tell you about. Yeah, these are some of the early ones. Yeah, right here.
Okay.
I couldn't think. Some of these were actually done in the hospital. The one in the top left, there's, I drew lots and lots of drawings of that were violent, trying to wrap my head around what happened, and then having nightmares and everything else. But It's just gestural drawings and sketches and whatnot, but that was doing the best I could. I also didn't really kind of understand my vision. I couldn't think very well, and so I just didn't understand. And so I would draw kind of what I could see. And so, as you'll see, lots of half the screen, half the face kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I couldn't read or write very well at all, and I had a therapist, and so I eventually started just kind of drawing sketches, gestural sketches to kind of help my communication, and he really liked that a lot. So I did a whole comic book of trying to share what I'm thinking and feeling and whatnot, and it got better. And so there's a like, let me see, on the top right there's there's a drawing of the comic book I kind of made myself, and with my scars and stuff. So, but yeah.
That's really interesting. I mean, it's so these are some of the first drawings?
Yeah, this is very early on. I didn't really obviously then at this point I didn't understand. I thought they asked me what year is it, and I said 2003. I don't know, and so I didn't even know what time it was and whatnot. So, but you can kind of see the progression from the past 3.5 years. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me look and see if there's another one real quick from. So this is the picture that you sent showing like what your vision was like.
Yeah.
Or is like.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what I see. And so, as you can imagine, it has a lot to do with the PTSD and stuff. I'm always fearing that there's somebody right next to me. But at the same time, I can, when Joanne's like, how's my hair? And I'm like, well, this part looks awesome.
Yeah.
or I'll always, say, hey, you left this milk out. And I don't know. I can't see it. So.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to have a little bit of a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
So are these, I want to go in order of which ones you want to look at. I don't know. Is this a good one to talk about next?
Sure. Like the top left one was a little bit better, but there was a lot of anger, a lot of depression, a lot of every emotion, and I had to draw. I drew all that, but I liked about this, the drawings got better, and so it was kind of bittersweet looking back, and so there was that, and then it started.
These are better drawings than a lot of people out there that are perfectly normally healthy and don't have issues. So I would be very happy. Yeah, these are. I mean, just even your style is popping through, very strong.
Thanks.
Yeah. So
there was some
you're kicking ass.
Thanks. There's a lot of hiccups and a lot of, as you can imagine, throwaway drawings, and went through lots of paper and what. But you just keep going. I wasn't ready to throw away my pencils yet.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I was just thinking about this, is before your accident, when you were doing your caricature work, you were known for extreme exaggeration, just really pushing and the form and everything, which is a very complicated way of drawing. It's not just a matter of just doing a basic caricature. It's you really have to push and stretch your mind. And I think as much as you worked out your mind before, that's what's, I think, really helping you pull through now, is that that's a muscle that you have to work out, like, that kind of exaggeration. And so,
right.
Yeah, I think you got a powerful mind, man, my friend. Because I
Well,
mean, this is like, I'm just impressed. Like, I mean,
thanks.
let's see. I don't know if is this one you want to talk about?
Sure.
This seems like a
I don't mind.
okay. Oops, here you go. But yeah, I just think I mean, to be able to do this as well as you're doing it now is just so amazing to me.
Thanks. This is part of the comic book, so to speak, with my therapist. So I was trying to understand and get better. This is when I started being able to read and write a little bit better. But there's lots of, misspellings and everything else, and it's kind of interesting looking back because I thought everything was fine at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
But my speech therapist was pointing me out all the time, and I was like, oh, I guess so. So, but yeah, it helped a lot. And Joanne likes the little character. So.
Oh yeah, it's great. And this is
this is
recent...
just more progressive. No, these are more progressive progression. This is and at some point I went to Tom Richmond's group seminar, and these are some of the working with. We were coming up with new ways to help with my vision and whatnot, and like as a lot of these, you can't see as much on the right, or it's more rough. But on the Michael Jackson, I used a compass and was checking measurements using a compass, and I would also flip the paper upside down and draw the other side of the face upside down.
Wow.
So it's again like it's a learning curve, but it's just something I gotta work through.
And you know what? It's interesting seeing this too, because you can really see, what you're dealing with here. With like half the face is just once you get to a certain point, it starts to become difficult.
Yeah.
But in your situation with what happened, that could just be your style now, where you just do like, because like if you look at the top right drawing there, that looks so cool. You don't even need the other side of the face. And knowing your situation, it's like that could just be like, dude, did you get a drawing from Glenn? Because it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like I just think it's one way to look at it. Like because the drawings are good, really strong likenesses and structure and everything. Yeah.
Thanks. I always loved doing shading, so that helped a lot. And Steve Fossen would hit my hand if I didn't know line quality, and so some of these were muscle memories, and so I would have to. I remember that stuff. It's just kind of like catching a ball or riding a bike, but the coming up with ideas and the composition and the concept and stuff, those were the hardest part, and it still is the hardest part. Yeah. And exaggeration, obviously, and everything else. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is one that you sent to me. This is a more recent drawing, right?
I actually did that just maybe 3 weeks ago. That was real recent. I got a new Cintiq, so I was testing it out and using it. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, this is like I think the first one you sent to me, and I was like, Jesus, like that's awesome. I mean,
thanks.
Like, because I just wasn't sure how it was gonna be because you've been struggling. It's been a hard road, and so I was like, man, I'm so curious to see how he's doing, and I was not expecting it to be so damn awesome, because it really, it's like you would never, again, I'm glad that you're able to like kind of have a little bit of a sense of humor about this because it's probably good for everybody involved. But
you gotta laugh after a while.
Yeah, Yeah,
you get tired of being angry and depressed. And
exactly. But I mean, you wouldn't
wow, to make jokes out
look
of
at this. You wouldn't look at this and go, "Oh, this guy was stabbed in the brain and had to teach himself how to walk and talk and friggin' draw again. Not just draw, but this is an excellent caricature, amazing line work. The style's awesome. This is a complicated piece of art. So it's just I'm impressed, man. This is just awesome.
I appreciate it.
And then here's some other drawings. And I really like the style in that Star Wars piece. It's cool.
Thanks. I'll tell you a little something I did. I was inspired. You know, whenever you get to see drawings or photos, you get inspired. I like talking with Tom Fluharty and I showed him that drawing and he was blown away. And so that's when he started doing some Star Wars drawings too. And I was like,
oh,
really?
That's awesome.
But at the same time, I was super flattered and whatnot. And so, yeah. So it's drawing as you like in the Star Wars one. You see how the land speeders is real stretched on the front.
Yeah.
That was by accident because I couldn't see. I couldn't see measurements or whatnot. But after I played with it enough, I just decided to go with it. And if I can do that every time, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a maybe a happy accident there. But
yeah.
It's awesome.
This Princess Leia on the left, as you'll notice, and the Mick Jagger on the right, they're almost I can't find the word. What is it? No, they're more portraity, but they're symmetrical.
Oh,
and,
yep.
It's same on both sides. It's because I had to flip it upside down, and if I draw the composition off center, it's more difficult. Kurt Cobain on the bottom there's not as much detail on the right. It's just some hair. All the faces on the left, and this is kind of, what I have to do a little bit. It's more It's more challenging. The drawing on the top right, Robert Smith. I love The Cure, and but that's more of a portrait. I really wasn't exaggerating at that, but all these drawings, they're not knocked out. I can't knock them out in 5 hours or 3 hours. These are laboriously drawn. Yeah. It takes hours, and then you get tired and you get mad or you get upset, and but you just walk away from it for a while and then come back the next day or something. And so,
man, I gotta just say again, I'm so happy that you agreed to do this, because this is super inspiring, man. And I think a lot of people out there, anyone out there watching that's lazy, you have no excuse, because Glenn is kicking your ass.
Thanks, thank you. I'm lazy sometimes too. Sometimes I sleep at noon, but I also kind of, I don't know. I get as you can probably understand, you have so many people that are fans of you. If you suddenly stop drawing tomorrow, people would almost get mad.
Yeah.
I work every day for my life, to get better, and and you already have something and you quit. I didn't kind of want to quit on doing something not only I was passionate about, but I felt pretty good at. And again, I don't mean to feel this way, but I don't want Frey to win. Screw him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to get better, and sorry, but.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I love this piece that you did of Prince too. Just the work in the hair and the how you hid the symbol in the hair. That was just so cool.
Thank you. It is hard to draw Prince because that's Joanne's one of her favorites. But everybody, just like the Rolling Stones or so many others, Prince has been drawn a million times. It
Yeah.
is hard to find any new angles, exaggeration. So I felt good about this one or whatnot. And again, this if you notice, this is mostly on the left. The hair is on the right, and so you'll see a consistency of that. More details on the left half of the paper.
Well, it's got to be nice working digital though, where you can flip it now pretty easily, right?
Yes.
So that probably helps out a little bit.
I told Wacom knew my story, and when they found out I was drawing, they were excited for me, and they were and so they want me to do a story about it, and Wacom's and Photoshop and some other programs make it. You have new tools that you wouldn't have a few years ago, and so it makes you have more choices and more abilities to fight through your difficulties. And I feel like this is something I had to work with, but with technology, sometimes you can do stuff like that.
Yeah,
it works and helps to do things. So.
Oh, for sure. Now this piece is outstanding. This is there's so many things about this that are just amazing. This is a pretty recent piece?
Yeah. This one took a long time. It would go back and forth, drawing it and getting mad and then come back. And again, it's kind of good sometimes that when you work digital, because unless you want to throw your computer away, drawing on paper, you can crumple it up and throw it away. But if you're working digital, it's like you just walk away. And so there was lots of days that happened. But this, I would work on just little parts of it here and there, and then eventually you start feeling, all right, hey, I can work with this. I feel good about this.
Yeah.
And,
No, this is such a great piece. I really love how you handled the flesh tones, especially in the mouth and teeth. It's just
thanks.
It's so funny. And then what you did with the brain again is just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I love how you exaggerated the wheelchair, the computer screens, but what I really, really love about this too is the cast shadows on the, I don't know if they're all stars or planets or whatever, but it's so funny. That little, like that, I never would have thought of that. I mean, this is so funny. There's so many things about this though. I was looking at this for a while before, and it's just really. I mean, what I love too about the rendering and his face, there's something about the style of the rendering that reminds me of the early Kruger, like 80s Kruger paintings. You remember how he used to do like those? They were like paintings. I don't know if he did them for Playboy or what he did them for, but the style is like very similar, and I think the way that you handled that, the rendering is just awesome.
Thank you so much.
Man.
Thanks. I for what an incredibly genius person he was. He had quite a. He made it easy to exaggerate. He wasn't a beautiful physical person, but I actually thought of. You remember the Donald Trump you did years ago at his chair, the red chair with the.
Oh yeah.
I always loved the way you did that, the reflecting of the light on the chair itself. And when I was actually drawing the chair here, I would always think of the way you did that.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and so so many caricature artists, they put so much effort and time and detail in the face, which it it's also important to do all the details of other things as well, in my opinion.
For sure. No, for sure.
Norman Rockwell, because he had to produce so much these masterpieces every week, and they would come pick them. People would come pick them up, and they'd still be wet because it was barely. You just finished them, and I always think about you when I see you every time. You just posting some incredible stuff all the time.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I know
it's
very busy.
It's kind of frustrating in a way, just because, like, I just did a cover for the Washington Examiner, and it was really fun to do because it's a caricature of Pete Buttigieg. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But they're like, oh, he kind of looks like Alfred E. Newman, and I never really paid attention to this guy yet. I looked at him like, oh my gosh, he does look like Alfred E. Newman. And so they wanted to show him banged up, and he's got his arm in a sling, and he looks beat up a little bit, and there's like a path of bombs behind him, like he's going peace with his other hand, like he thinks that he's doing great, but it's not going so well,
Wow.
And so I took out the missing tooth like Alfred E. Newman, and I'm like, and then I just took it a little bit further, like, so it's got a very mad look to it, which is fun.
Nice. Congratulations by that. Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked about that.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked about that.
but to kind of towards the end of Mad, suddenly getting the covers and everything. I mean, what an honor. That's pretty,
Feels good to kind of get it in there real quick before it's over. But I'm still hoping for the best with them. I'm actually working on 3 full pages for Mad Magazine right now for issue 10.
Nice.
And that's part of what's due really soon as well. And I'm really excited about that because I've for the last 15 years I've been in Mad Magazine, but I haven't been like a consistent,
Right.
And I would love to be a consistent artist, like in every issue. So I hope that they continue on. I know they're going to be doing like old content with new covers, but I'm hoping. Tom Richmond was sharing some stuff recently, and he said something about them doing an issue once a year, basically covering all the events of a year, which that's kind of cool. But I'd like them.
That's a lot. Jeez.
I'd like them to do, just keep going, man. People love it, So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping for the best. I'm not gonna Debbie Down it right now.
No, but yeah, man. I wish average people would appreciate artists.
Oh, I know.
For Mad Magazine, that's man.
I mean, yeah, it's such a just such an iconic thing, and so I'm very proud that I was a part of it in some way or another, But yeah, I'm really excited about the pieces I'm doing now. I can't tell you what they are, but I'll tell you one thing I'm very confused about. It's 3 pages that are spoofs of old TV shows. And I'm very confused because these TV shows are not relevant right now at all. Right. And I even wrote them. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm excited to get on this. But why are we doing this? Because it's literally 3 TV shows that they've not even been on. They've been off the air for a long time. They're old shows. Right. So I'm very confused why we're doing it. But I'm having fun. So,
I mean, to still be involved with something like that, I mean, that's pretty cool. I had to do I know whenever you do political stuff, and they have you do stuff you don't agree with, that's got to be challenging sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I kind of try to stay away from it. If it's something I really don't agree with, I won't do it. But
good
for the most part, I think I am not a fan of Democrats or Republicans. I just think both sides are complete lunatics. And so I have really no problem making fun of either side. But yeah, if it's some kind of, it is funny. Like there's been stuff that, I did Trump recently, and it's not a pro-Trump cover.
Right.
And people still were like writing things to me like, oh, how could you draw him and stuff? And it's like, well, it's for one, he's fun to draw.
Right.
and two, it's paying, it's feeding my family, and
Right.
but it is funny how people can't handle, like, how could you draw him? Well, very easily, actually.
Right.
He's fun to draw.
Right. Yeah.
But, I mean, Hillary's fun to draw. I mean, they're all fun to draw, you know. I actually look forward to the election time because I'm hoping that I'll get to draw a lot more of these, because they're all goofy, you know. Bernie Sanders is fun to draw. But anyways, I want to show you. There's a bunch of people that did drawings of you.
Cool.
Which I think you're going to enjoy quite a bit. But before we do that, I'm going to do serious questions with Jason Seiler.
Serious questions with Jason Seiler, yes.
And this serious question is very serious, okay? I'm just curious now.
That's okay.
With Rolling Stone, or the Rolling Stones, and Kruger, you know, how he's like very, very into the Rolling Stones, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know how we even know that. But what my
book about all this.
Yeah. It's a little bit obsessed. Okay. No, I love it. He basically ruined the Rolling Stones for everybody. Like, nobody can draw them anymore.
Yep.
But my serious question for you is this: the Rolling Stones or the Beatles?
For me, that's the Beatles. But Rolling Stones.
To listen to or to draw?
Both. I really, really love. I when I drew my big Beatles piece, it was I tried to. I read as much of the history of the band and everything else that was all the excitement of it. Really cool stories about it, more than just the music, and I really loved that. It was really great. The music, I think I lean more towards Rolling Stones. They're more, I don't want to use the word hard rock, but rock. But I just love the fact that there's stories about both bands, and just so, and especially Rolling Stones. I think it's the oldest band in history right now that's still
rocking
it.
Yeah.
I mean, touring and new albums and everything else.
And Mick Jagger is like, the way he struts around on stage still and everything. It's like, what? This is crazy.
You got to give credit. You got to give credit.
Yeah. I think I would have to say the same thing. I would have to say, like, man, the Beatles, they have one of the best bands of all time, wrote so many amazing songs. And then even when they split up, then you've got George Harrison writing just insanely amazing records. Paul McCartney, of course, and then John Lennon's solo records. So there's so many. Like, one of my favorite songs is Imagine. I just love that song so much. But then there's the Rolling Stones, and they have like a little bit of an edge to them, more like the Bad Boys, you know.
Right.
And I kind of tend to be attracted to the bad boy, like, image, you know, like that, you know, because you know what I mean. Yeah, a little bit punk rock, little like. Right. You know, a little bit of attitude, but then again, there would be no Rolling Stones without the Beatles. So you could go back and forth on this all day long. But, anyways, that was my serious question for Glenn.
It's very serious. I appreciate that.
Very serious. But I was thinking about that just because I remember that Beatles piece that you did, and it's epic. It's a huge piece.
Yeah, it's. Where is it? Where? Hang on, let's see here. It's in my room up here, and it's giant over here.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, can we see it? Yeah.
Here we go. There it is.
Holy. That is a huge. Is that all airbrushed?
Yeah, it's all airbrushed, and this is how, you know. There we go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Scale of it, and so it's it's.
I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah, I don't know how. I think it's 7 feet across. So it took some long. Thank you for holding that. It took some. It took a lot of composition, a lot of planning it all out. We took some photos before the progress, and so it was. I kind of forgot how big it is sometimes until I see the early times. It's like, what was I thinking? Like, this is the biggest thing I've ever used. And so
what's that painted on? Is that like a masonite board?
it's actually a canvas, and I put so much primer on it, and then I sanded it on that after a while it just looks like a piece of panel. And I thought maybe I should have just done that, but
Well, that's awesome, man.
Thanks. I
did not know it was that big.
Yeah, this is kind of my studio room area. There's this over here is this is what I consider my wet table, where it's like anytime airbrush or acrylic or watercolor messy is the table for that. Over here is a table for just drawing, and drawing is my favorite thing to do.
That's awesome. That's a nice setup. Oh, I recognize that little Joanne drawing there, or painting.
Yeah, actually, you might see a couple of yours up here too, because it's.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, yeah. She loves that, and I love it too. Obviously,
that was a lot of fun.
Thanks. Yeah, it was awesome. But this is my digital area over here, this kind of wall or whatever.
Oh yeah, you got that original Kruger piece too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I obviously I love that, and there's a bunch of different kinds of pieces of different artists and whatnot. What's that?
Hota.
Yeah, Hota Lil did that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
What do you call it? Chewbacca and whatnot. There's there's that Kruger. There's that Tom Richmond and a Joe and.
Wow, this is awesome, man. It's such an awesome studio.
Thanks. Yeah, this is one of the. When I found this room, I was like, this is where we're gonna live, and so it was pretty an easy decision.
Oh
so,
yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's really cool. It looks like a great place to hang out, man. That's what you want.
Yeah, it came with these chairs, and so I was like, well, crap. I guess we're gonna watch TV in here too. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like the chairs from Friends. How they get those chairs and they never, Joey and what's his name, they never leave.
Yep.
Right.
Take order out.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again, and let me know if you see this. We're gonna go through some drawings of you.
Oh, fantastic.
You see it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this first one is done by Espen Backlid.
That's awesome, man. That is cool. I think it's done with one line. I think it looks like
almost looks like it, yeah.
Almost. What a cool design. That's good. It's like me too.
That'd be like a cool T-shirt design, actually.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and everyone that submitted had really awesome things to say, how much you've been inspiring them. So.
Everybody's
cool.
Awesome.
So this next one is by Load Up the Beak.
Awesome. What a beautiful. I wish Gracie could see this, because that would. That's awesome. I love her smile.
Yeah.
Human teeth. It's good.
Not creepy at all. Have you seen those fish that have the human teeth?
Are those real? I haven't.
It's disturbing.
I thought it was Photoshop. Are they not?
No, I think it's real, man.
That's creepy.
It's like a certain just look up human teeth on fish, and there's like all kinds of pictures.
I'm scared. Wow.
That's creepy. This is by Bill Barrett.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's very good. Man, that looks just like me. Great likeness. I think Bill's drawn me a few times. This is great. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
And this is fun.
Oh my God.
This is by Tom Faraci.
Oh, Tom, this is beautiful. Thank you, man. Creepy guy. No, that's awesome. Man, that is good. Oh, I love that. Man, that's awesome.
It's cool. I like how his just like this, the shape choices there are really funny. Just like the way he pushed the eyes in there. It's
as I get older, my lower eyelids are getting thicker, and the artists are noticing that, and I think it's funny. And
Your one ear's lower.
oh my gosh, it is. Oh, just a real side note.
That's funny.
I have all metal in this half of my head. It's all titanium, and this surgery, they had to move this down like a drawbridge, and
oh my gosh.
yeah, and to get in there and whatnot, and to my surgeon actually had to get hand sculpt metal with little hammer and stuff to fit on my head. Which, holy cow! I know I posted that. Medical people and especially surgeons, I couldn't imagine what they have to do every day. But anyways, when he put me back together, it didn't line up everything. So my ear is lower and far tilted back. And
oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I didn't notice until I put my sunglasses on.
Oh
and my glasses, I was like, what's happening here? And at the time I couldn't think very clear. And so I was just like, I'm all fighting it and whatnot. And so after about maybe, I don't know, 2 months after the surgery or something like that, I got to meet my surgeon for the first time. And it was really emotional. It was really, crying. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's really heavy. Because, I mean, he saved my life. And
yeah, for sure.
all the work that he had to do. But he kind of was just like, in a nice way, it was just like, are you pleased with the outcome? Did you think we did a good job? And I was like, well, of course, but I did have one complaint. And it was like, what are you talking about? I said, and I said, you put this ear too lower. Just like, why did? And I think he's probably was like, you jerk, I just saved your life. But he was all like, well, I guess we could do some plastic surgery or something like that. And I was like, I'm just kidding. And he looks to Joanne and he's like, I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know if Tom did that on purpose or not. I think I told Tom that story.
He must have.
Yeah, that's funny.
You bastard, you. Jeez.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
This is by Troy Douglas did this one.
Troy, thank you. Oh, that is awesome.
God, that is so funny.
That's adorable. It's amazing when people can do cartoonish stuff or almost animated stuff, and it really looks like the people. The likenesses are dead on. Oh man, I love that. I really love that.
I just realized Joanne's hair in this almost looks like Kim Possible.
Oh yeah.
Cartoon that Steven Silva did.
I guess you're right. Yeah, that's awesome. It's very cool. Very nice.
Oh.
Wow.
This is by Marco Garcia.
Marco,
wow.
Thank you so much. Wow, wow. I can't do that. That's amazing. It looks like a pop art from the 60s. You know how there was
yeah.
I can't remember the main artist that was a movement but it looks a lot like that. I admire so much artists that can use so much bold colors that you wouldn't like putting orange and blue and purple in your face. And
oh yeah, like Philip Burke's work, how he does that.
My God, yeah, I've been a fan of Philip Burke for the past 25 years or something, and
yeah, that's awesome.
I've tried that with failure, and this is incredible. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Very cool. Oh wow.
This one is by Bernard Lucas.
Bernard, thank you. Man, what a cool exaggeration. I've never seen that.
It looks like a Dorito.
Yes. Nice. Oh, that's cool. It's funny how you've been drawn a million times as well. It's after a while you kind of, it's like, how many times can you be exaggerated or in a new way?
Yeah.
I mean, I love every caricature, but when somebody comes up with a new exaggeration, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty
Oh
neat.
yeah. I also like the way that that this artist just did the brushwork. It's pretty cool.
It is. Look at that. There's no line work hardly at all. It's really nice.
That's cool. Here's a fun one. This is by Jared Hobson.
Jared, thank you. Oh my God, that's beautiful.
I love that dog. It's so good.
She looks great.
Oh, I love this one. This one's gorgeous.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, Joanne's eyes are amazing. That's pretty funny.
That is too cool.
I
That
love
looks
it.
just like you.
It
That
does.
just nailed you.
And by the way, I'll email all of these to you too after.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Here's a fun one. This is by Juan Barron, and I believe he said this was airbrush.
No way.
Wow.
Wait, so I'm sorry. I think I know that. Yeah, I know this guy.
Juanjo or Juano?
Yes, Juanjo. Yeah, that's what I would say. Juanjo is, oh my God, his airbrush work is incredible. I'm friends with him online, and his work is incredible. But man, this is beautiful. Wow, how creepy but gorgeous.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I love that. Thank you so much. Man, it's cool.
I'll have to look back at my email. Once I don't know if it was him or somebody said they wanted to send you an original, but I wanted to ask first because I don't want people to. Well, I don't know your address anyway, so we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out later.
I'll message it to you.
I just don't want people like sending you weird stuff. But
Suddenly they're on my doorstep. So Drew, look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is from Rebecca Tesson. I don't know if I said her last name. I think I always screw up her last name.
It's harder for me to say on the right. That's cool though. Wait, it's about contact.
Don't just give me ice.
Oh crap! I think I said that. I did, didn't I? Nice. I'm honored to be quoted. That's beautiful. Oh, I can see it. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Tell me who did that again. Rebecca?
Yeah, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Tessin. I think it's Tessin, her last name. I always say people's names wrong. It's like the worst. I'm the worst at it. This is Max Rodriguez did this one.
Max, thank you. Ah, that's beautiful.
Look
at all the paper. Look at all the painting, the brush strokes in there. That's awesome.
That's cool.
I love that. There's this line, this creases in my face. It looks like here's where my face is going, and it's funny when people pick up on that. That's awesome. It's cool when some people can pick up on little things on your caricatures. That's not just hey, here's a big nose and
yeah.
That's cool. I wish my neck was that thick. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, check that out.
This one is by Jason Williams, and I think if I remember correctly, he said that you remind him of Superman a little bit, so he wanted to kind of do like a Clark Kent type thing.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that's
First
beautiful.
one with your glasses.
Oh yeah, I had to get new glasses. So thank you. That's pretty cool. Awesome. I like the curl in the head. Thank you. This is awesome. Man, I'm honored. I always thought I was more like, Danger Mouse or something. I don't know, but that's awesome. When there's so many. Oh, check this out.
So, sorry, I can go back.
So many people pick up on my. I got a scar on my chin. I felt when I was third grade, and it's kind of cool that somebody. You know how as you get older, you embrace things that make you different. It's neat when sometimes people pick up on your little things of your face.
Oh yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
This one is by Bertrand Dalle.
Cool. Thank you, Bertrand. Say it again. I'm sorry.
It's Bertrand.
Bertrand, thank you. What a great gesture line work. That is cool. I dig that.
That's a cool style.
And Gracie as well. Yes. Awesome.
Wow. This one, I don't know why this is so small. I can try to zoom in on it more.
How cool is that? Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, this is by Evelyn Arquette, I think is her name.
Thank you, Evelyn. That is detailed. It looks just like me. It's creepy. I look at the eyes, and it looks like a mirror. That's cool. Like you can see the exaggeration, obviously, with the mouth and the jaw and stuff. But sometimes when you pick up on, like the nose and the eyes and the forehead, it's almost real, almost a photo, and it's when you see caricatures like that, it's like, it's amazing. That's so cool. Thank you. I love the contrast of the colors from the background up to the light through my eye, from my ear. When that is so cool. Look at the hair, man. Thank you so much. This is beautiful.
Yeah, really well done.
Yes.
This next one is by Theo Tenekazidis.
I'm familiar with his style, man.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
great. Look at that. This
Okay,
is
there's
fun.
a spider.
Yes. That was so much fun. Oh, that's funny. Look
You
at
got
you.
one strong nose there, man.
Doesn't he?
You know
Looks
what's
so fun.
funny? Kruger picked up on me, and I've never been exaggerated before. And then that was the time I was like, wow, I guess my nose really is. It's not as much big, but it is pointy. It's like
Kind of swoops out, yeah.
yeah. And I think Joe Bloom was the one that really did a curve on that, and I was like, wow, it's you think you know your face, and then you realize how other people see you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you
No,
so much.
it's-
It's beautiful.
That's what's so much fun about it.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, this is by Keelan Hordos.
Keelan is awesome. He is the nicest guy. I apologize. I keep meaning to hang out with him, but he is. Look at those eyes. Wow. It's realistic. Man, thank you so much, Keelan. That is beautiful. Look at that. You remember that? You remember that? I know you. You remember the music video in the '80s? Aha.
Take on me.
Take on me.
Oh yeah.
Or showing our age, but that really reminds me of that.
That's funny.
Cool. I love my turtle neck. I didn't really do that on purpose, and then I saw the photo. I was like, oh wow, I guess it does that. Yeah.
This one's pretty cool style, man. This is by Abel Joachim Karan.
Abel, where's he from? Do we know?
I have no idea, but this is pretty cool.
That's very cool. Look at that.
It's pretty.
Man, I want to touch it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great likeness. Wow.
I love just the different layers of the paper creating cast shadows.
Absolutely.
Just gives it like that awesome depth. It's really cool.
Absolutely. Man, that is cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you so much.
And this is by David Garcia Vivancos.
David, thank you.
Or
that's fun.
DGV.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's cool style.
I always whenever people use real red on like around the eyelids and the cheeks, I'm always scared to do that. To be that looks like they're crying or they're upset or something, but he pulled this off really well. That's nice. Very cool. Thank you. I like that one. Oh my God.
Now this one is by Dominic Zollinger, and he said something about this is showing Glenn piecing himself back together again.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you take a concept that's something that could be horrible and do something positive. And I just love anybody that has that perspective. And thank you so much. This one is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like that.
This one is by Adita Bahasser, and
Oh,
now
nice.
this artist has submitted to quite a few of my podcasts, and they never told me about this until now because they just wanted to let you know that you've been really inspiring. That I think they're diagnosed with MS. And so they've been having, it's really challenging to create art and to do all kinds of different things. But just wanted you to know that you're a huge inspiration. So,
Hey, look, man, we're on camera. If you make me cry, I'm gonna look terrible. So, and that just hits me right to the throat in a good way, and right to my heart. Thank you so much. I've been inspired by so many other people, and it's just people like. Tell me his name again. I'm sorry.
Adita,
thank you so much, and you have my complete support and admiration and awe to persevere and to follow your passions too. That inspires me just as much. Thank you so much. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome. Excuse me. This one is by Mario Fernandez.
Mario, thank you. Check that out.
That's wild.
That is cool. I'm a huge Tool fan, the band Tool, and I don't know if you knew that or not, but the third eye, that is too cool, man. Look at the hands. That is it reminds me of man. I admire that. I can't do that.
Is this image from a Tool album? Because I listen to Tool as well, but I don't remember this image.
It may be.
Is it just the third eye thing, It's
a third eye thing, yeah. And there's they've got videos of it. It's just a generic face, and
okay.
But if that has nothing to do with it, if they didn't even know that, I think it's cool that I got a third eye. I wonder. I'm just curious about the inspiration to do that. Maybe a broken brain that can see better or something. I don't know, but that's too cool. I love that. That is great. It makes me think it's real. I don't know. I sci-fi or philosophical or something. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
This next one is by Colin Boyer.
Nice. Solid. Great likeness. Absolutely great.
Yeah, it's cool just to see how many people, just their approaches. That's what's so much fun about the caricature convention as well,
Yeah.
So you never know what's going to happen.
This one almost looks real gestural, but it's also polished as well. I like seeing this, and this one's cool. Very nice.
Yeah,
Thank
cool.
you so much.
It's a fun one. This is by Juan Antonio Rodriguez Martin.
That's a name.
That's a long name.
Juan, that's awesome. Look how creepy and funny you are. I love that. That's gorgeous.
Imagine if that was your kid and they were, Juan Antonio Rodriguez Martin, get to your room.
Oh, that's funny. That's awesome.
Why so many names?
You know what? Juan, you're awesome. I'm just going to stick with one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Beautiful. Love
Very
that.
cool.
Wow.
This is by Wanderly Fernandez. It's pretty cool.
That's solid. That is absolutely solid. Man. Thank you. Tell me his name again. I'm sorry.
Wanderly Fernandez.
Wanderly. I was saying it one wow. Thank you, Wanderly. This is wow. I love that. Wow. It's almost portraitish, but really, I can still see some exaggeration in it. But man, that's good. Look at Grace falling asleep.
Yep.
That's great. Wow. Look at the lightning and light and shadow on like her muzzle and her nose too. That's great. That is great.
This was hilarious. This is by Kiko Yamada.
I love Kiko. That is beautiful.
I love
Oh,
it.
that's awesome. Oh my God. It's so exaggerated and funny and goofy, but there's dead on weaknesses. Look at that. That is
I know.
awesome. Wow. Good job. This is great.
Another T-shirt design. That's what I said.
Exactly.
I'd love
So
that.
funny. Yeah, she's great, man. She's awesome. This is by Ben Boss.
Ben, thank you. I love Ben's work.
It's like Ren and Snippy.
It is
I
kind of
love
like
it.
I know.
Look
I
at the-
love the eyes.
Look at
I
the
know.
look at the pupils. They're all like exploding. If you notice, a lot of people got a ball on the end of my nose. That's funny. I like that. That's funny. Grace, you need to go on a diet. Look at that. Thank you so much, Ben. That's beautiful. I love that. I love look at the eyelid on the bottom.
I know, that is awesome.
I love details like that.
Yeah, I think I heard him say somewhere that he's just now starting to get into digital, so this is kind of new for him. So
Oh,
That's
bravo.
great.
Bravo.
yeah, it's very cool style.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Nice.
Here's one from Manny.
Oh, Manny,
Wow.
I hate you. I hate Manny. He's such a jerk. No,
Yeah.
Manny's I love Manny. He's amazing. Holy crap! How many incredible drawings is he gonna pull off on my
Wow.
face? Wow, that's Manny. This is gorgeous. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I really like the style a lot in this, and you know what's cool too is I'm not sure exactly how he's doing it. I know it's digital, but the texture on it actually looks like real paper that's been airbrushed.
Wow.
And that's an interesting texture digitally. I'm not quite sure. I know he uses some other kind of program on an iPad, but I'm not that familiar with it. I tried messing with the one he talked about, and I was like, I like Procreate, but
Right.
but this has a really cool texture to it.
That is so
It's
cool.
nice.
Manny is. I don't know how. I don't know how he comes up with his imagination. It's beautiful. It's impressive. It's very cool. Very nice. Thank you so much, Manny.
Yeah, no, it's a really fun design.
It is.
Look at the my head with the shadow of Gracie's head behind me. What a great composition. Nice. Thank you, man.
Pretty awesome.
That is.
This was by Ryan Biddle.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Oh wow.
Just like
You got you
look like
draw-
a punk rocker.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yes. I love it when anybody can draw the inside of the mouth. That's impressive. That's cool. How fun. I like that one.
And here's a fun one. This is by Samuel King Davis.
I'm a fan of Samuel. That is awesome. Wow.
Nice design there.
Yeah.
It is. It's a design I've never seen. That's impressive. Wow. Very cool. It looks it's amazing when you can pull somebody that hard, exaggerate them that hard and far,
Like
but you can definitely see who it is.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
so cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a nice use of planes and so on. It's cool.
Yeah.
This one is by Fernando Mendez.
Fernando, this is gorgeous.
Wow.
That's
Look
funny.
at the eyeballs. That is so cool. Joanne's eyes looks green in some angles, or in some light, and then blue in other light. So I think it's cool when somebody picks up on
The green.
little details like that, and you know she's green-eyed in this one. That is so cool,
That's awesome.
man. This is so good. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, that's
You're
awesome.
really good.
I know. Thank you for drawing my hair perfect.
Very nice.
This is by Rory Cancio.
Roy, nice. Great likeness. Very cool. Look at it. Tell me your name again.
Rory?
Rory. Is that? I apologize. Is it male or female?
I have no idea. I'm not sure.
Great. I like the shadowing and the light quality, line quality, and the shadowing to that. That's great.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Nice.
This is by Joanne Steffens.
Nice. Thank you, Joanne. Oh, Joanne's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Look at that. I love it when my eyeballs can look almost creepy, but that's awesome, man. That's when I'm in trouble, I open my eyes real huge, and it's like
It's like a defense mechanism.
yeah, it's absolutely
Like,
No poker face.
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's cool.
Hope so.
Gracie's blue, and that's a pretty. I don't have. It's. I admire people that make bold decisions that I wouldn't always take.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
This is one by Lars Eric Robinson.
Lars is awesome. Thank you, Lars.
That's really good.
I've always liked. Lars has such a great. He puts so much sketching work into it, and it looks so cool. It's great likenesses. Thank you so much, Lars. That's great.
Yeah, I really like Joanne's expression in this one. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
She's like trying to be polite, but she knows the dog just farted, and she's like, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, all right, farted.
Yeah, or Glenn did. The dog has like a very guilty look on his face, like, yeah, that was me.
Exactly.
Very nice.
And this is the last one. This one came in like literally. This is the one that I couldn't get to open for some reason. But this is by Salah Qadari.
Salah, that's beautiful.
Wow.
I love it.
Really cool.
Salah's artwork style is just it almost looks aggressive.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's his likeness is always just nail it. It's really good. I almost look scary. I mean, like mean, but
yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah, I really like his style a lot. It's got a really it looks, there's a lot of movement, and I always like have to look at it for a little bit to notice like little things like, oh wow, I see. Like when he did one of Hota, and I didn't even realize until we were talking that, oh, he's got little dancing Hotas on the bottom, So it's kind of just cool how he kind of mixes all that in there and everything.
So, man.
So let's here, I'm gonna go back. Is this, you see me?
I see you.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. So thanks a lot for everybody for sending the drawings. That was really awesome.
Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it.
I almost forgot to play a question that John Casey sent, so I want to play that question really quick.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hello, this is John Casey. I'd like to consider myself a friend of Glenn's, and I wanted to ask if he got a service animal, and if so, what impact that has had on his life. Also wanted to just let Glenn know that he's very loved by his community, and that I'm really glad Jason has given him an opportunity to connect with all of us in this way. Really looking forward to hearing his interview.
Cool.
Thank you so very much. There's so many times beautiful people that have reached out to me, and I give everybody a hug. It really to have the whole community embrace you like that. It's a beautiful thing. It really kind of shows not just caricatures but art in general how much of a caring, loving, beautiful people we are. And is when there's really horrible, terrible people in the world, and you see it all over the news and everything. When you have so many beautiful people come into your life, it's amazing. Okay. Anyway, the question is, Gracie is my service dog. I can walk and talk and speak and everything like that, but I have severe panic attacks, and several things affect them. And sometimes they're just kind of, I stop and I pose. I freak out a little bit, and sometimes I cry. And then there's times when I'll be on the ground screaming and stuff, and I hate that part of it, but that's part of the brain injury and part of the PTSD at the same time. I can't control it, and I have epilepsy, and so I had a massive seizure, a grand mal seizure that almost killed me, and 6 months out. So it was around that time. We were really scared, that I could get more.
Yeah.
But I've been on my seizure medication. So far, so good. No, but we got Gracie for several reasons. One for the vision, one for the panic attacks that help calm me down, but also for the getting if I have a seizure, she can get help. And so, she does several things for me and stuff. So I was going to get a service ferret, but I think that's frowned upon. But no, I'm kidding. No.
Oh, gosh, that just creeps me out thinking about it.
It's a new life. It's a different life living with a service dog or whatever. But thankfully, most people are very supportive and positive with it. But I wish, I hope to eventually be able to go forward, not necessarily having a service dog, but rather just more of an option. But we'll see with more time, my progression and whatnot, and gets better. And so,
yeah, man, that's just like, it's just insane. It has to be such a weird thing to have to wake up one day and just have to deal with everything that you've had to. But again, like, I can't say it enough, just how inspiring, just for me personally, just like, you're a rock, man. And it's awesome seeing you loving life, and you have demons that you have to fight with, and you're fighting them, and just seeing you do the work that you're doing too is so encouraging. And I can't wait to see what you're doing. What you can come up with next. And I'm hoping to be able to come to the caricature convention this year, 'cause I know you're going to be there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I already got our tickets and reservations and hotel and stuff. So we'll be there.
Cool. I'm hoping to. Just depends on a few things, but
sure.
But man, be prepared for a huge hug, dude. I'm going to give you a big old hug.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I as well as you as well. I wanted to say thank you for all your support personally, because you've been a huge supportive person, and it means a lot to us. And it nobody can go through what we've gone through, what I've gone through alone. It just you would be anybody would be in an absolute mess, but because of people like you, it's made getting better even much more easier and better and quicker. So thank you.
Well, no problem, man. I love you, man.
Love you too.
Yeah, and thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
And
I'll
of course, man. This is, I wasn't quite sure. I wanted to ask you to do it a while ago, but wasn't sure if I was like, I don't know if you'd be up to it or not. And I think when I talked with the guys from American Caricature, they'd be, oh no, he'd totally be down for it. I'm like, all right, maybe okay. I just wasn't sure. So I'm really glad that I reached out, and I'm so happy that you said yes. And
thank you.
It's powerful hearing your story, and really encouraging. And just I'd like to encourage you just to keep, when you have those times where you're feeling you're feeling down or you're afraid or anything, just, always remember that all these people out here just love you so much. And
thank you.
I love you big time, man.
Thank you, Jason. I love you too. Thank you, man.
So,
I wish I had enough words, but I really want to appreciate you. Thank you for having time with me and to have an opportunity to do this. This is great.
No problem, man. Real quick before we go, is there any last minute things that you would like to let people know, or people can follow you on like Instagram and stuff like that?
Well, as most people on Facebook or whatever, I've been slowly showing my story and post photos and everything like that. You actually kind of jumped the gun with the showing my artwork, but it's totally fine because this is an awesome way to kind of show the world what I can do, what I've been doing and whatnot. But I still have more story to tell, and so you can just follow more what's going on, whatever. I also wanted everybody to support the. I'm sorry, I'm having word finding problem. The new American Caricature. Thank you. Movie. Those guys have worked so hard to put it together, and they're asking for support. I mean, donations to it and everything. So that's a good cause. But
oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
They've been incredibly supportive. But yeah, I don't have a new website or anything like that. But I'll show more artwork and stuff as it comes, and showing a little bit more what's going on, what's happened in the past 3 years. So
cool, man. Well, that's awesome. Thanks again for being on this. And one last thing before we go, high five.
High five, man.
All right, man.
All right, talk to you soon.
We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.